Yo,
Tom Cash.
Mark my words.
yeah. You know what time it is. Welcome to a new episode of Mark My Words with me, your host, Mark Gunnels, live from the Good News Sports Station in sunny Los Angeles, California. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me right now live on the Good News Radio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We have another special edition of Mark My Words. What a crazy, crazy week in the NFL, filled with news, just drama left and right. Had a tragedy in Las Vegas. My thoughts and prayers are with the young lady that passed in Vegas in the Henry Ruggs car accident. Very, very unfortunate incident that happened there. Very, very unfortunate. Just don't drink and drive, folks. It's not worth it. It's not worth it at all. It's not worth it. So my thoughts and prayers are with everybody involved in that situation in Las Vegas. And Aaron Rodgers. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers has been in the news, rightfully so, over the past, almost 48 hours now. I'm recording this on a Friday afternoon. So, unless you've been living under a rock, you may have missed that Aaron Rodgers has COVID-19. He will not play this Sunday in Kansas City. Once again, we are robbed of an Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers matchup because 2 years ago when they played in Arrowhead, Mahomes was out due to injury. Now this time around, Aaron Rodgers will be out due to COVID-19. But that's not really the main headline there. Everybody's talking about how Aaron Rodgers basically led the media astray back in the summer when he was asked if he was vaccinated. Aaron Rodgers, in a very slick way, said, "Yeah, I've been immunized." He's been immunized. So he was not vaccinated. He used some different type of home remedies and things of that nature. He tried to get it approved by the NFL, did not get approved. He came out today on the Pat McAfee show. I love the Pat McAfee show. It's a great show. Just butchered his name, but that's fine. Pat McAfee. And he came out and said a lot of interesting things. He listened to Joe Rogan for advice. He said that the woke mob is after him, but he doesn't care. He said he's not getting into the politics of it. And he also said that, man, I thought this was very, very interesting. He threw the Packers organization under the bus. He said the Packers knew about his status. And that's huge right there. Because now you're wondering, will the NFL get involved here? Will there be some type of penalties, type of fines? Will they take away a draft pick? Is there a suspension on the horizon for Aaron Rodgers? I doubt that happens because the Packers were the ones that were supposed to monitor this. They were supposed to make sure he wore a mask during his press conferences. He didn't wear a mask on the sidelines during the preseason. So, very, very sticky situation, especially when you consider that all the drama that they went through in the summer of Aaron Rodgers wanting out potentially. And now you have this when Aaron Rodgers basically throwing his team and organization under the bus. And how will his teammates respond to this? Because it seems that he got special treatment throughout this process from the Packers because they knew he wasn't vaccinated, but they still didn't enforce the rules. So, very, very, very interesting dynamic here. I don't believe much will come from this. Maybe just a slap on the wrist by the NFL, finding the Packers, and maybe Aaron Rodgers, but I do not expect a suspension to come from this at all. But this does lead to a bigger picture here for Jordan Love. He's obviously going to start this Sunday in Kansas City. He may play next Sunday as well against Seattle. That's up in the air. But if he plays well this Sunday against the Chiefs in Arrowhead, he doesn't even have to win the game. But if he plays well, shows good command of the huddle, goes through his progressions, makes the right reads, doesn't turn the ball over, has a couple splash plays, it would be a lot easier for the Packers to move on from Aaron Rodgers this offseason, wash their hands clean, and move forward with their first round pick in Jordan Love. Similar to how they did several years ago with the transition from Brett Favre to Aaron Rodgers. I believe Jordan Love will play well. Obviously, he's not Aaron Rodgers, but I think he will show himself very favorably to where the Packers will feel good about him moving forward. I'll get to my pick in that game later, so I'm not going to spoil that right now, but I do believe Jordan Love has the talent, has the athleticism, has the smarts at his age, based on what I've seen in the preseason and looking at his college film. I think he will show good enough this Sunday against the Chiefs. I do believe that. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me right now live on the Good News Radio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio. This is your host, Mark Gunnels, with another edition of Mark My Words. So, before I get into my picks, I'm going to give you guys my 3 best bets of this upcoming NFL weekend. And I'm also going to give you guys my leans. So I'm going to give you guys my leans on every single game. The leans are not official plays, but you know where I'm leaning if I were to place a bet on the spread for every game this week. So I'm going to start doing that for you guys, so you guys have more options outside of my 3 best bets for you real big time gamblers out there that have to bet on every single game. I got you. Don't worry. But before I get into that, I have to talk about Odell Beckham Jr. So I'm recording this on Friday afternoon. Odell Beckham was officially released this morning from the Cleveland Browns. The saga is finally over. The split is official between him and Baker Mayfield. I must admit, I thought this was going to work from day one. Baker inherited a mess in Freddie Kitchens when he first got to Cleveland. But you know what? He broke the rookie touchdown passing record his rookie season. But then year 2, all hell broke loose. And then you got Odell. It was pretty rocky at first. Odell gets hurt. And then Baker looks like the rookie year Baker all over again. And then the narrative created that Baker is better without Odell Beckham, which he was. The numbers don't lie, but we have to hold Baker Mayfield accountable. The video that Odell Beckham Sr. posted on Instagram, 11 minutes worth of film showing his son wide open, and Baker didn't give him the ball. Didn't see him. If he did see him, he didn't go to him. The film doesn't lie, people. The film does not lie. So I understand the frustration there from the Beckhams. And you better believe there's no way that his dad posted that without the consent of Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ wanted that out. LeBron tweets the day of the trade deadline. Free OBJ. You better believe Odell wanted that out. Him and LeBron are close. And LeBron's a Browns fan. So there's no doubt Odell wanted out. They're saying that he wanted a trade during the offseason. That just came out. So he's been wanting out for a while now. He finally got his wish. He's released. But here's the tricky thing about that. Since it's after the trade deadline that he's been released, he has to go through the waiver wire. And if you're not familiar with the waiver wire, it works like this. It's like the NFL draft. It goes from worst to best. So the worst team, the Detroit Lions, they have first dibs at him to claim him off waivers. And then you go down the line. But if nobody claims him, which means he clears waivers, then at that point, he's free to sign anywhere he wants. Now, the Browns, they're working on restructuring his deal to where a team that claims him won't have to take as big of a hit on their cap. Because right now, a team that claims him will owe him $8 million for the rest of this season. And we're already halfway through the year. So nobody will claim him at that number. But if it gets down to about $1 million or so, then I think you'll have somebody willing to claim him at that number. So when you look at the waiver wire list, teams like Detroit, Houston, Jacksonville, Miami, it makes no sense for them to claim him for the remainder of this year, unless you think you're going to keep him long term. But at the same time, do you really want to take that chance? Because we just saw how upset he was with poor quarterback play in Cleveland. And Baker is better than any of those quarterbacks of those teams I just mentioned. So, and you're not going nowhere this year. So that makes no sense to me. I don't see a team like that claiming him. The first team on the list that I think makes sense when you get down to number 9 on the waiver wire list would be the Seattle Seahawks. Because we've seen Seattle take flyers on receivers. Josh Gordon. They were going after Antonio Brown. They're 3-5 right now. This is their bye week, but Russell Wilson is eligible to come off the IR and play next week. And they play Green Bay, I believe. So I wouldn't be shocked if they took a chance there. They have the cap space, and you pair him. I mean, oh my gosh. Could you imagine that receiving core? Odell Beckham, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. That's interesting. Then you go down a little bit more. San Francisco, I could see them taking a chance there. They've been rumored in the Odell Beckham trade talks for a while now. You have somebody on the outside for Trey Lance to go along with Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. And we always know that the Niners are going to have a good running game, no matter who's the running back, as long as Kyle Shanahan is the coach there. So I could see that as a possibility. They're 12th on the waiver wire list. And then at 15, the New England Patriots. Bill Belichick. Now at this point, you have to go all in. You're 4-4. You just came off in a very, very impressive win here in LA against the Chargers. You're in position to make a wild card. You have to go all in. You have no receiver threats at all that nobody fears. That makes a lot of sense. You have the culture there. We've seen them take flyers on guys before. Randy Moss, Chad Ochocinco. So that makes sense to me. And then if you get to 18, which I don't think he will get to this point, but the Kansas City Chiefs. The Chiefs have been looking for a wide receiver too for a while now. They did sign Josh Gordon. He hasn't been in the rotation much. I think he only has one catch so far. So if he gets to that point on the waiver wire list, that makes sense to me. You have Odell, guy that will see a lot of one-on-ones because teams are doubling and bracketing Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce. You have a quarterback that loves to throw the deep ball and Patrick Mahomes. So that makes sense to me. So we'll see. And if he gets to that point, I don't think he'll get any further down the list. And if he did clear waivers somehow, let's say they don't restructure the deal to the point where a team feels comfortable claiming him and they just let him go into the free market and they want to negotiate a new deal, then you have a lot of teams on the list looking at Odell Beckham. The Chargers, the Raiders, they have cap space, which makes sense. The Saints will probably make a push for him. He's from the area. So he can't be claimed until Monday because he got released today on a Friday. So they have to wait till the weekend pass. So we'll find out very soon. I think by the time our next show on Tuesday, he'll have a new home. And we'll be talking about that and how that works. So the OBJ sweepstakes is officially on. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me right now live on the Good News Radio app, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio. So before I get out of here, I teased this earlier. I'm going to give you guys my leans and my 3 best bets for this upcoming NFL Sunday. So I'm going to go down the list. I'll make sure I highlight when I get to my best bets. I have 3 of them. And the other ones will just be my leans. So, Browns Bengals this Sunday afternoon in Cincinnati, the Battle of Ohio. So obviously, Baker Mayfield's probably relieved that Odell Beckham is gone. But if you see the reports, see the tweets, a lot of guys in that Browns locker room were Team OBJ. They didn't want to see him leave. They're not happy. That locker room is divided right now. And you're going against a Cincinnati team that was embarrassed last week. They've become the hunted in a way. And they lost to the Jets. So now they're going back home. They're favored by 2.5. I'm leaning Cincinnati here. I'm leaning Cincinnati. I like this spot for them a lot. I think back home going against the banged up Browns team, this is a good spot for them. This is a really good spot. And you know what? I'm not just leaning here. This is actually one of my 3 best bets of the weekend. This is one of my 3 best bets. Place this bet right now. Bengals 2.5 against the Cleveland Browns. Lock it in. Moving on. The Denver Broncos are going to Dallas to play the Cowboys. Dallas is favored by 10 here. This is a lean. This is just a lean. I'm leaning Broncos covering the 10 points. Hear me out here. I understand the Cowboys are loaded offensively, but Dak hasn't played in about 3 weeks. I think he's going to be a little bit rusty. That Broncos defense is still very good. I know they don't have Von Miller anymore, but they still have a very good unit, a good scheme. And Teddy Bridgewater, while he's a very conservative guy, he has made some throws. He has weapons around him. And I think this will be a week where the Dallas defense doesn't play as good as they have the previous weeks. I think they kind of are going to be like, okay, we got Dak back. So now we think our offense is going to score a lot of points, to where they kind of relax a little bit. Because last week they had to play really good because you had Cooper Rush at quarterback. So you wasn't going to score that much points. But now you got Dak back. You expect the offense to carry you. So I think the Broncos will cover this big number here. To the dud of the week, the Texans and Dolphins. Miami's favored by 5.5 here. I think that's too big, especially considering that Tyrod Taylor is back. So I like the Texans to cover the 5.5. But while I want to so bad to make this one of my 3 best bets, I just cannot do that with the Houston Texans. After all, it is the Houston Texans. But I do lean Texans plus 5.5. Falcons Saints. Now, this is one of my 3 best bets. This is my second play of my 3 best bets here. The Saints are favored by 6. I love the Falcons to cover the 6 here. Look, this is a rivalry. No matter how much you want to roll your eyes at it and scoff at it, this is a big rivalry down south. And if you look at the recent history, no matter what the record is, the Falcons always find a way to give the Saints hell. And now the Saints have Trevor Siemian at quarterback. Come on. The Falcons have the big advantage at quarterback in Matt Ryan. They're going to cover this, man. There's no way I will be on the side of Trevor Siemian covering 6 points against any team, let alone a not terrible Falcons team. I mean, they're 3-4. They're not terrible. They're below average. So, and it's a division rivalry. So I love the Falcons plus 6 here. Raiders Giants. Raiders are favored by 3. I'm taking the Giants to win this game straight up. So you can take Giants money line, or you can just take Giants plus 3. They're expected to have Kenny Golladay back this week. Tony's going to play. Not sure about Saquon Barkley yet. But this Giants team played the Chiefs very, very tough in Arrowhead. And the Chiefs needed that game. That was a must win for the Chiefs. And the Chiefs barely won that game. Obviously, the Raiders have had a very rough week with the Henry Ruggs situation. And I mean, he's a big loss. I mean, let's not get it twisted here. He was their best receiver. He was their only downfield threat. So losing him definitely hurts. There's no doubt about it. And I do believe, there's a human element here. I do think they will be a little distracted, and that's expected. So, and also going to New York, we know about the whole West Coast teams going to the East Coast to play early games. I think that's a real thing here. I love the Giants to win straight up, but you can take them +3 if you want to just play it safe. Patriots, Panthers. The Patriots are favored by 3.5. I don't understand this line at all. The Patriots are clearly the superior team here. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Patriots -3.5. Take it, hammer it. And that's actually going to be my last play of my 3 best bets. Patriots -3.5. Bills, Jaguars. The Bills are favored by 14.5. I know it's a big number, but take it. The Bills covered a big number last week against the Miami Dolphins. They've covered big numbers before. I think they covered a big number here. The Jaguars are not a good football team. We saw what they did last week against a poor Seattle team. Couldn't even score. So the Bills will cover this number. I'll lean that 14.5. Vikings, Ravens. Ravens -6. This was a tough one for me, but I'm going to lean Vikings +6 here. It's a must-win game from them. They're in the playoff hunt in the NFC for that last wild card spot. Ravens coming off a bye. Think they'll be a little rusty. And the Vikings, open up the playbook. Open it up. This Ravens defense is not that good. You have the weapons. You have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, Dalvin Cook. Let Kirk Cousins cook, man. Chargers, Eagles. Chargers -1.5. I can't understand this line. Why are they only favored by 1.5? I don't know. Don't overthink it. They are the superior football team. The Eagles are being overvalued because they smacked the winless Lions last week. Take Chargers -1.5. Packers, Chiefs. Chiefs -7.5. I know the Chiefs don't cover. I know, I get it. But I really, truly believe Jordan Love's debut, while I said I think he will show himself to be pretty good, I think this will be the week that Mahomes looks like Mahomes and the Chiefs look like the Chiefs at home, rocking crowd in Arrowhead. I think this is their get-right game. I know I've been saying that for the past couple weeks, but I really believe this is it right here. The Chiefs got the break they needed with Aaron Rodgers missing this week. I think the Chiefs covered a 7.5, but it's just a lean. Niners, Cardinals. Cardinals are the underdogs now. +2.5. I'm taking the Cardinals here. I don't understand this line. I really, really don't get it. The Niners are at home, but yeah, I don't understand this line at all. Taking the Cardinals +2.5. Don't overthink it. Titans, Rams. Rams -7. I'm taking the Rams -7 here. No Derrick Henry. We know the Titans passing game is predicated off of their running the game. I know they signed Adrian Peterson, but this is not 2012. So I love the Rams in this spot. You got Von Miller now. That defense is nasty. It's going to be a long day for the Titans. I like the Rams -7. And Bears, Steelers. Steelers are favorite -6.5. I actually like the Browns here because it's going to be a low-scoring game. Like this is going to be like a 17-13, 20-17. So the fact it's going to be so low-scoring, it's going to be harder for the Pittsburgh to cover that number to win by a touchdown. So give me the Browns +6.5. I mean, the Bears. I'm sorry. The Chicago Bears +6.5. So there you go. My 3 best bets. Bengals -2.5. Falcons +6. And Patriots -3.5. There you go. Take it to the bank. Get rich. Thank you guys for listening to another special episode of Mark My Words. This has been your host, Mark Gunnels. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Mark A. Gunnels. Subscribe to the podcast, Mark My Words Sports. Just type it in anywhere. Hit that subscribe button. You guys have a good weekend. Be safe out there. Enjoy some football. I'm out.